Wow, it's been crazy for crypto over the past couple of hours. Bitcoin just pushed back above $66,000. Kamala Harris had some very interesting words for crypto just now. And so did BlackRock. You really want to know what they just said? Well, at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, I think that the cycle, as I've already stated for the past, 3 or 4 weeks by now, is in a really good spot, meaning I'm looking more and more at accumulating these altcoins for longer term bags. Instead of thinking about selling, I'm more so thinking about what to buy, when to buy them. And it seems that even though some corrections are quite likely, nothing goes up forever, right? That this is really starting to be where things pick up. I know I've said it for a few weeks, but think about it. Many of the coins we know and love are also up like 100% or so over the past month. I mean, again, I even could have played it better by going even harder on these altcoins. I didn't go like quote unquote all in, even though I theoretically speaking could have. If we take a look at the monthly performance, for example, SUI is up 117%, TAO is up 104, MOG is up 102, yada, yada, yada. Many coins are in a extremely good spot right now. And a couple of my major altcoin plays have done really, really well, like Phantom, Brett, Mantra. Those are some of the coins I've been covering on the channel quite a lot. Those are also what I've got significant holdings into. But generally speaking, I still stand by it when I say that the bigger trend at the moment is meme coins. Many of you guys hate to see it. I know. I look at the comments. Many of you guys say, Dusty, don't even talk about meme coins because many people are going to lose money with it and it's not going to sustain or be sustainable over the long term. And my counter to that is, well, I mean, look at Doge. Doge has been around for as long as I can remember. It's been around longer in the crypto space than you have, most likely. And it's still at almost 17 billion. Now, Shiba Inu came in a significant amount later. When? 2021 or something like that? It's right now sitting at 11 billion. I think this cycle, some drastic changes are going to happen. One of which is that a coin is going to overtake Doge. And I know that's quite a bold prediction, but I do believe it is going to happen. Then again, that also means that since I do believe most of these things will reach their all-time highs, if not more, that one of these coins, perhaps Pepe, perhaps Wave, will actually break that $100 billion mark, which is quite a journey. If you think about it, it's still a 25 or so X from here for Pepe. And the moment I said that over on Twitter, that was actually 10% ago, so would have already been up 10%. And that's the fun thing about it. I made a video how to trade PopCat when PopCat was at what, 70 cents or so. So it's also double since the last time I talked about it. Brett, I think it was like 9 point something cents or so the last time I talked about it, which again has all been over the past few weeks with many dip opportunities. And just look at the performance. So you can stay, Dusty is not going to last. And I'm fine with you having your opinion. But in my opinion, one of the strongest trends right now seems to be meme coins. Perhaps at some point it changes, but it's quite sustainable because they're actually quite small still. I mean, have you really looked at it? It's quite significant to understand the relative size here. There's almost nothing in it, right? Relatively, it's quite small if you compare it to things like, for example, Cardano. You might say, oh, but Cardano is this. You know how much XRP, for example, or Cardano was worth before they actually really did stuff? Just to put a little placeholder here, you know how much XRP was worth before a lot of the major announcements came up or the XRP got locked? It was worth a ton, all right? And so the story kind of goes for many of the altcoins that we know and love in the broader crypto market. Even Bitcoin at some point really was not that useful. It was mostly just an idea. Yes, they solved a good problem, but at some point in the past, that wasn't necessarily enough to convince people to really go with that coin over another. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You guys get the idea. Meme coins are now in a really hot spot. I'm personally a firm believer of don't deny the trend. You can skip it if you want to, but if I look back, I always tell you guys, one of my most important parts in life is to minimize regret. And if I had to pick a thing I might regret, even though I don't believe in that word too much, if you understand my drift, it would be to just be too sturdy, saying, oh no, it's gonna go down. Oh no, this should no. Don't think too much. When it comes to these crypto cycles and really to make the most amount of money, very often it's for the people that are able to kind of dumb down. And what I mean with that is a lot of you guys are too intelligent. So you're looking at these things thinking, that's so dumb, it's not gonna work. But you have to realize a lot of people don't think the same way as you do. They look at the memes and think this is the best thing that's ever happened and this will continue to go on forever, which it won't. Then again, it can go quite far. And I always say, in good markets, it's better to be the momentum investor rather than the value investor, meaning it's better to kind of go with whatever's working already than trying to time and find whatever's been undervalued because of probability. You're more likely to find something that's already doing well, that's going to keep doing its course in a good market, right? Because the market generally is upwards. Then trying to find something which has been either going down or sideways right at that bottom when it's going to start picking up. Probability-wise, you have a higher chance of just finding something that's doing good, that will continue to do good, than finding a bottom. Point being, I don't think it's smart to deny the meme trend. There will be some big corrections though. Many people are not ready for that, but generally speaking, it's really what's moving everything right now. Having said that though, Bitcoin back at 66,000, up 6% throughout the day. Ethereum back at 2,633, up 8% throughout the day. BNB up 4%, Solana up 7.5%, XRP up 4.7%. Some very, very good market here that we are facing. And to cover a few things that have happened today, let's quickly move this on the side and take a little look. One thing that I think is quite important is what the BlackRock CEO just said. The BlackRock CEO said Bitcoin will become as big as the housing market. That's a pretty big statement if you ask me. That is a ridiculously huge statement to just see. Wow, right? Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, how far we've come over the past few years to now have the BlackRock CEO that this whole crypto debacle is going to be bigger than the freaking housing market? Because I mean, if Bitcoin alone is going to be as big as the housing market, then crypto as a concept will be way bigger than it. Massive to just think about the scalability we are, or I should say the scaling we are about to face. Now, when I just said that Kamala said something quite interesting, yeah, it's definitely quite interesting. Guys, before I do continue, if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press the like button on this video. But more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, I share my daily life over on Instagram. If you want to go ahead and check it out, that would be really cool. Leave a comment under one of my most latest videos. Put a lot of effort into them, and I think they're quite funny. So just give it a look. A link is down below at @DustyBC over on Instagram. Take a look. All right, and now to cover what Kamala said, I think it's quite interesting. I might be biased here. Kamala Harris proposes forgivable loans of up to $20,000 for black entrepreneurs. That was interesting, sure, but this one was where the shit hits the fan. Kamala Harris's campaign says she will ensure crypto investors, quote, benefit from a regulatory framework so that black men and others in this market are protected. Interesting, huh? Now, I've been looking at this for a while, and I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea what this is supposed to mean. Now, what was more understandable was the comment by Matt Gaetz, that said stock trading should be illegal for members of Congress. Now, I don't think that would change that much because I do believe they'll just allocate it, or how do you say it, like push it further to either friends or family. You might say, well, no, that's also going to be not allowed. Doesn't mean they won't do it. You know, they're not stupid. They're politicians at the end of the day. Members of Congress. If they can handle themselves as a member of Congress, they can do some shady shenanigans with this trading. Then again, as a baseline, it does make sense for them to not have their cake and eat it too. So it's kind of weird that in some of these agencies or instances that it's still actually allowed for them to trade. On the opposite side, it's a fundamental freedom. But I guess you kind of give up on that right the moment you start governing over those things. And since I started recording, a lot of time has passed here because, man, if you are really in the crypto space right now, you must know, and let me tell you, there's a very big difference between holding some cryptos and actively participating in either new launches, trading around, and just moving a lot of money. I'm telling you, it's a completely different ballpark how much stuff is going on at a given time. Like right now, I'm following a couple of different discussions, some extortion case in the crypto space, a whole new securities debacle. It's just, if you really want to, you can spend your entire day just scrolling through these random tweets as well, of which some are really interesting. Having said that, even if you do not believe in meme coins, which it's your given right to, because they're quite stupid in essence, and you believe more in utility coins, let me tell you, right now, we're not in a phase yet where they're popping off, but generally speaking, though, altcoins are looking a lot better than they have looked over the past, I'm going to say 7 or so months. And so from that perspective, your risk reward is a lot better than it would have been anywhere in the last 6-7 months. Are they amazing? No, but maybe they're getting there. And so, like I said before, even though momentum investing is slightly better, in my opinion, right now, from a value perspective, a value investor perspective, I don't think we're in the worst of spots. The last 7 or so months would have been way worse. And generally speaking, as long as Bitcoin does not kick the bucket, your alts will do well and will most likely do better than Bitcoin. So all I can say is let's just hope that Bitcoin continues this momentum forward. There's nothing too particular that has been pushing it. There have been a couple of attempts to push it back down. Just as Bitcoin was crossing the 66K mark, we saw another red alert, which was, I don't want to call this funny, you understand why, but it's kind of ironical that the moment that Bitcoin starts pushing again, bam, we get news of more freaking rockets. For all of you that do not know, the last time we saw a pretty big crash, it was because of that new rocket situation. Regardless though, do believe me when I say that right now the biggest trend is meme coins, and if you're sleeping on it, you might be missing out. That does not mean that we won't see a massive crash. I'm just saying that it's the most trendy thing in the entirety of crypto at this point. And you want to know a fun fact? Bitcoin just saw a 4-year low in search. Meaning if you look at Google, nobody's been looking at Bitcoin, but memes actually had a big dip, but right now are on a pretty big incline again, or a pretty big uprising over the past few weeks. As again, I'm not joking when I say what the trend is. You might hate it, but it is the truth. Regardless, that's about it for this crypto update. See you guys again in another one, hopefully tomorrow.